Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I was just reading an article talking about the wave of bankruptcies that are going to be coming to the global economy. An IMF report was saying that the top 20 nations, the G20 nations out there, the top 20 economies, will be seeing a dramatic increase of bankruptcies to small and mid-sized businesses. They say that prior to the pandemic, there was a 4% bankruptcy rate. It's going to move up to 12%. And some of these average countries are going to see as much as 20% bankruptcies to their small and mid-sized businesses. This is huge, and they say most of it's going to happen in the service sector. And we're talking restaurants. We're talking restaurants and theaters and any place where there's a public gathering and people are being provided either a service or an entertainment or something like that. Food. All this is going to come to a dramatic drop. And with that is going to be a lot of employment. So you think about it, 12% of small businesses are going to suffer a bankruptcy. I can't imagine of what that's going to equate into as far as employment goes. It's going to be huge. And so I think about what it is that the Federal Reserve is going to do to try and deal with this downturn in the economy. Because if we start seeing that sort of rise in bankruptcies, we are going to see that dramatically affect the rest of the country in many ways. I mean, a lot of the distribution that would be bringing, say, product to these companies are going to no longer be providing those services, and it's going to cause even more downturn in the economy. It just keeps rippling out there. Either you're expanding or you're contracting. And it sounds like we're going to be going into a contraction. The Federal Reserve has stepped in over the last few months with like $2.5 trillion. And already they're talking about how the economy is flattening out and how the government is going to have to step in with more fiscal policy. That means like stimulus checks or government spending of some sort. And later on this year, we're going to start seeing a wave of bankruptcy. So we have not even begun to see what this economic downturn is going to look like. We have just gotten a mere taste of it. You know, I hate being like the doom and gloomer out there, because a lot of people say that I don't have anything positive to say about things. And you know, a lot of times, I agree. I don't always have a lot of positive things to say. But it's the fact that you're paying attention to the worst possible scenario, or bad scenarios, and not even the worst. I mean, the worst possible scenarios can get pretty bad. But if you're not paying attention to what could possibly happen, then you're not going to protect yourself from those things. How many people out there cannot make it more than 2 weeks without a paycheck? Very few. Very few people have the ability to go 2 weeks without a paycheck. After that, they're going hungry. They're not getting their bills paid. They're going to start, going in delinquency on their loans. The idea that we are in some sort of recovery is ludicrous. We're not in any kind of recovery. If this is what we have going into the future, is a wave of bankruptcies. I mean, a recovery means you wreck your car, you get all busted up, you have a bunch of broken bones, you get put into cast, and you're sitting on your couch watching TV healing. That's a recovery. Right now, they're just still trying to keep the patient from dying with more fiscal stimulus policy coming from the government. The Federal Reserve going to be, most likely the Federal Reserve is going to be continuing on with the quantitative easing, but they're going to do their best to try and print up as little money as they can to do it. And they're going to go into yield curve control. And they're going to hope that the markets out there believe them when they say that they're going to print up money and buy those bonds. They're praying for that. They don't want to do it, but they will. They promise they will. And they're hoping that the markets believe that promise and they run out there and buy those bonds. and keep that bond market moving so that the government can continue to go deeper into debt. Here at the end of the month, the extra unemployment that comes from the federal government, the extra $600 a week, is coming to an end. And I've talked to quite a few people who are on unemployment, and they say that they're going to get cut down to around $200 a week, from $800 a week down to $200. And they're only going to be collecting their state unemployment insurance, which is not very much. Here pretty soon, those forbearances that people have asked for on their mortgages are going to come to an end. They have up to a year, but they want from 3 months up to a year. And that 3-month mark is starting to come up. And people are either going to have to roll over, start paying, or ask for an extension. We're coming into a bigger storm. It's coming. The Federal Reserve is admitting it. IMF is saying it. The only people who don't really seem to believe it is the people who are buying into the Dow. Anyway, I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.